I humbled my spouse's family after they tried to mock what I do. My fiancé Lucas comes from one of those families where everyone's got fancy degrees and works in offices wearing suits. His dad's a cardiologist, his mom's a lawyer, his brother's in finance. Me? I'm a dog groomer. I love what I do, but Lucas's family has always made little comments about it. At Christmas dinner last year, his mom asked if I was still playing with puppies for a living while cutting her prime rib. His brother Jake snickered and said maybe I could upgrade to something more professional after we got married. Even Lucas just sat there picking at his mashed potatoes, not saying anything. But the worst was Lucas's dad. He kept calling me the help whenever he thought I couldn't hear, like when he'd tell Lucas to make sure the help knows not to bring those work clothes to the wedding. I bit my tongue every time because I didn't want to cause drama. The breaking point came when we were planning our engagement party. Lucas's mom suggested we have it at their country club because it would be more appropriate for our social circle. Then she looked right at me and said, "Don't worry, honey, we won't tell anyone what you do. We'll just say you work with animals." I smiled and nodded, but inside I was done. That night, I called my friend Maya, who works at the local news station. Maya's covered stories about my work before because I volunteer grooming shelter dogs to help them get adopted. I had an idea. 2 weeks later, Maya called me back. The story she pitched got approved. Turns out there's this huge dog grooming championship happening in our city, and 3 of the top groomers in the country were competing. The prize? $50,000 and a contract with a major pet food brand. Here's the thing Lucas's family didn't know. I've been competing in grooming competitions for 5 years. I've won regionals twice and placed 3rd at nationals last year. I just never brought it up because they seemed so uninterested in my hobby. The competition was on a Saturday. Lucas wanted to go to some boring golf tournament with his dad, but I convinced him to come support me instead. His whole family showed up because I promised them free drinks at the after party. When we got there, Lucas's jaw dropped. The venue was packed. There were professional lighting setups, cameras everywhere, and a crowd of like 300 people. His mom whispered, "I thought this was just a little pet grooming thing." The competition started, and I got assigned this golden retriever named Buddy. I had 2 hours to transform him into a work of art. I decided to go with a lion cut, shaving his body but leaving a full mane around his head and chest, with little tufts on his ankles and tail tip. About halfway through, I noticed Lucas's family was actually watching. His dad had put his phone away. His mom was leaning forward in her seat. Even Jake stopped checking his watch. The judges announced the winner an hour later. 3rd place went to this woman from California who'd been grooming for 20 years. 2nd place went to a guy from New York who owns 5 grooming salons. 1st place? Me. When they called my name, Lucas jumped up cheering, but his family just sat there with their mouths hanging open. The prize money was $50,000, but the real prize was the look on their faces. After the ceremony, this reporter from the local news came up to interview me. She asked about my background, and I mentioned I'd been doing this professionally for 8 years, that I make about $80,000 a year, and that I just signed a deal to open my 2nd location. Lucas's mom's wine glass nearly slipped out of her hand. His dad asked, "You make $80,000 grooming dogs?" I nodded and mentioned that my Christmas bonus last year was bigger than what Jake made in a month at his entry-level finance job. The best part came later at the after party. All these other professional groomers kept coming up to congratulate me and talk shop. Turns out half of them make 6 figures. One woman owns a mobile grooming business with 12 trucks and 30 employees. Lucas's dad pulled me aside and said, "I owe you an apology. I had no idea pet grooming was such a serious profession." His mom chimed in with, "We're so proud to have you in the family." Jake was the last holdout until he found out the winner of last year's nationals bought a Tesla with her prize money. Then he started asking if I needed investors for my 2nd location.